just show you here just a little bit. Two solvents here, guys. And let me just switch you first. Yeah, we have two solvents here. One solvent is polar, which is H2O, correct, as in the table here. And one solvent is non-polar, cyclohexane. We'll have 5, as you can see, you'll have 5 compounds dissolved in cyclohexane, the same 5 compounds dissolved in H2O. Some of those compounds are polar, some of those compounds are non-polar, correct? Now, the polar ones are the ones here. The sugar is polar, correct? It's an non-electrolyte, but it's dissolved in H2O because it's polar, correct? The other polar one is potassium permanganate. It's ionic compound. It's polar. It's soluble in H2O. You can see the color here. Can you see the color? It's very hard to see, but if you have more light to see, you'll see no crystals there, correct? And the sugar, you can see with H2O as polar, dissolves polar. So light dissolves light. So this is sugar. You can see no crystals, correct? So sugar, potassium permanganate, and the second one will take those are mixed, but let me put this one here. Potassium nitrate here, guys. Potassium nitrate, you can see, is ionic and is polar. Is soluble in H2O. You can see how nicely it's soluble, correct? So now, and the last one here, cyclohexane. And then when it comes to oil with H2O, oil is non-polar. Can you see two layers? Can you see 2 layers? Yes. Can you see it? Let me show you here, maybe in the picture here. Can you see two layers? One is yellowish in the top, light, means H2O is more dense, it sinks at the bottom layer, and the lighter one, less dense, will be floating in the top. So oil is not polar and it's not soluble in H2O. So put it here. And the last one here is the iodine. Iodine is not soluble. See here? Don't let this color is you know, the color has nothing to do with solubility. It's not soluble. Iodine is not soluble, and therefore you see the crystals here, correct? So it's not soluble. Now on the other hand, if I take those compounds with cyclohexane, well, if I have a light, you can see there is crystal at the bottom, but it's very hard to see because it's very dark. Cyclohexane is non-polar solvent and permanganate is polar, so they don't mix. They don't mix. So then I take cyclohexane with it is cyclohexane with permanganate. That's the permanganate. You can show you here. It's very nice. Permanganate is not soluble. The permanganate is settled down at the bottom, correct? And cyclohexane with potassium nitrate. Again, potassium nitrate is ionic, is polar. Cyclohexane is not polar. So we have two phases, and the salt is not polar, so it sinks at the bottom, correct? So they are not dissolving each other. Now, if I look on the other hand, the oil, let's take the oil and cyclohexane. That's the oil cyclohexane. Can you see 2 layers? No. Oil is non-polar, cyclohexane non-polar, so polar dissolves what? Polar compound. So that's oil. And the second one, let's look at the iodine. Let's look at the iodine here. Maybe you'll find the iodine here somewhere. Iodine. Well, iodine, I don't see an iodine here, but the iodine will be, believe it or not, iodine is really soluble. Cyclohexane. That's the iodine. Here it is. That's the iodine. Sorry, I gave you a permanganate. That's the iodine. when you dissolve iodine in cyclohexane, you get this. And this is permanganate being not soluble. Permanganate here, cyclohexane, you see permanganate is ionic. It's not soluble in nonpolar cyclohexane. But here iodine is nonpolar, soluble in nonpolar cyclohexane. So, as you see now, this one here, I'll switch here. You can see this results here inside if you look at this, this is here, the information here is given to you, and I can just show you here, all this information here given to you. Here it is, you can see it here, can you see it? So all the information here you can see, likes, dissolves, likes. So if I have a solution, this solution has to be what? Solubility. So the non-polar, polar. So I have homogeneous what? Solution. Heterogeneous solution when the polarity are not the same. I get what? Two different layers, and they are not soluble. Any question? Yeah. That's it. Any question? I'm open to any question. And then I'll gather the class for the recitation.